And in the Pacific, there are apparently several moves in the works to counter Beijing's aggression. For one, Taiwan plans to increase its defense spending by about $8 billion. Add that to the U.S.-Australia submarine pact. Here's NTD's Kevin Hogan with more on that and General Milley's controversial calls to China.
The trilateral agreement between the U.S., UK, and Australia marks a power shift in the Pacific. The U.S. says the move to lend Australia tech to launch nuclear subs is not to counter Beijing, but an Australian government defense official told BBC it shows the three nations are drawing a line against the CCP's aggression in the Indo-Pacific. And a national security correspondent at the Washington Times, Bill Gertz, shares a similar view.
And so this is really stating very clearly to the Chinese that the United States, Britain, and Australia are forming a new alliance because of the strategic threat posed by China, and in particular by the Chinese Navy, which again we've seen a rapid expansion in very modern, high-tech warships with all kinds of advanced missiles.
And speaking of China, General Milley apparently promised his Chinese counterpart he would tip them off should the U.S. launch an attack. According to several news outlets' preview of journalist Bob Woodward's upcoming book, Peril, Milley did this because he thought Trump might go rogue. Milley defended the calls and said Trump officials knew about them, but Gertz says that's false.
I spoke with senior Trump administration officials who said they were unaware of it, and obviously it undermined their efforts to put pressure on Beijing, which was part of a major strategy for the Trump administration.
Gertz says there is one way Milley's calls to appease the People's Liberation Army could have been warranted. That's if there was in fact intel that China incorrectly thought the U.S. was going to attack. But Gertz says there would have to be some form of negligence if Trump's officials really never did get the intel.
That's almost a criminal negligence on the part of the intelligence community. So we've got to find out, we've got to get to the bottom of this whole scandal. Well, I really see it as an emerging scandal because it involves what appears to be, based on what was in the Woodward book, a usurpation of the civilian control of the military. You have Milley saying basically he's in charge of the military and going to ignore what the commander-in-chief and the chain of command.
And over to Taiwan, where the country is set to increase its defense spending by about $8 billion over what they call a severe threat from China. Gertz says the missiles Taiwan is planning to build could serve as a deterrent to China. Kevin Hogan, NTD News.